back to the farm. Today, I want to quickly talk about family vehicles. You know, you always heard about your soccer mom cars. That's kind of what we thought we were going to start needing to get into, being a household with multiple dogs, now twins. So, the vehicle we got before we had the twins, assuming, if we have kids, what would be a good vehicle for us to have kids, was a Toyota Highlander. I love the Toyota Highlander for a lot of reasons, but there are also some features about it that, I just wasn't quite as happy with. The back seat being one of them. There's just surprisingly not as much room in that back seat once you start putting car seats in it as one would expect. So if you're not dealing with car seats, I'd highly recommend the Toyota Highlanders. Take a look at those. But one of the things we found is we were needing to get a new farm truck. So the wife started looking at farm trucks, so we were looking for four-wheel drive, something big enough that I could tow trailers that have hay, tractors on them, actual, something substantial. But we needed something that could actually tow, things that, tow the horse trailers, the tractor, the bobcat, something with a substantial load. I would not have gotten the Dodge Ram toolboxes. Those Ram boxes have turned out to be probably the greatest thing ever invented. I tend to keep one of the toolboxes full of tools, and the other one I try to keep empty. The reason I keep it empty is for when I'm leaving the grocery store, I have an additional place to throw groceries in. It's an additional place to throw things like diapers, baby gear, whatever the case may be if we're going away for the weekend. Now, what I did not realize when we bought the truck, that has to be probably one of the coolest features about it, is when you hit the key fob and lock the truck, not only are you locking the four doors on the truck, but you're locking the toolbox, and you're also locking the tailgate. I've never ran across a truck that has a locking tailgate before like that. And when you put some form of a cover on the bed of your truck, which I'd highly recommend you do, it's not completely secure. I could break into it with a pocket knife, because this one's just a canvas. But things like the strollers, I keep our stroller in the bed of the truck all the time. That's just where it lives. And that cover keeps it dry, doesn't keep the dust out, so it does get a little dusty living on a dirt road. So that's something you'll have to be mindful of, depending how much dirt road you have to deal with. But to be able to just, park it in a parking lot and opt to use the stroller or not, and to know it's actually somewhat secure, it's very nice. One of the features about this truck that I also like is, and I recommend this for any family vehicle, is have a 110 outlet in there. I use this one that's on the dash for one of the cheapest baby monitors. I had the other baby monitor on me. So I left the truck running. The climate control in this truck has proven to be superb. I can leave it running on a 100-degree day and know that the AC is continuing to pump cold air. Now, even with that, being that the babies are the most precious things I have, I don't trust the truck 100%. I still poke my head in every 30 or 40 minutes on hot days, and come winter on cold days, I'm still going to poke my head in there quite often to make sure it's, the proper temperature. But my logic and my wife's logic is if the babies are strapped into their car seats and we're keeping a close eye on them, that's the safest place for them to be if I'm out here running a chainsaw or I'm working. Park the truck a couple yards away, 100 yards away, whatever the case may be, and as long as I have that baby monitor on me, I can still keep listening to make sure they're not screaming or having problems. So our setup is we just have the two baby seats in the back. We have found that you can put 3 car seats in the back. We have done that with a toddler. We were babysitting a 3-year-old over a weekend not too long ago. And we put his seat in the middle and it worked out quite well. There's so much room in the back of these seats that we were able to just slide the passenger seat forward and he was able to scurry right through. I mean, it was great. I've decided somebody has put a lot of thought into the engineering of these trucks. I've always known they were designed to be good construction trucks. I've always thought that Dodge kind of had that as their focus. So if it's a good construction truck, it's going to equal out to be a good farm truck. But I didn't realize how great of a family vehicle it would turn out to be. the biggest downsides to this as a family vehicle is its height. It is pretty tall. I'm about 6'1", and obviously the top of the truck is taller than me. So if you're trying to put babies in car seats, I have seen some 5'4" people. We do have some shorter people in the family that have tried putting babies in the car seats, and they struggle. It's kind of tall. My wife and I, we're both in the 6-foot range, so we don't struggle with it very much. The other issue that I wish they would have put some more thought into is the climate control on the back. Now what I mean about that is if you go and look at one of these trucks, their vents are all at the bottom, under the passenger seat, under the driver's seat, along with right under that center console. The problems I've run into is the diaper bags will easily fall and block those vents. And then with the rear-facing seats, on the hotter days, it keeps the babies cool, but they will get still a little sweaty. So I wish that it was more like the Highlander that had the vents up top on the roof. I feel like if they could move those vents to the roof line to where it was blowing down at the passenger versus trying to blow up at the person in the back seat, I would think that would probably work a little bit better. But I would definitely recommend the newer Dodge pickups if you're looking for a family vehicle. Especially if you're one that, at the drop of a dime, you might need to use your four-wheel drive. You might have to hook up to a trailer to tow maybe even just a lawnmower. This one has the receiver hitch in the bed of the truck. The other feature that I did not realize that I would fall in love with is the backup camera. I was raised to just, get out of the truck 2 to 10 times as you back up and just kind of inch the truck back and back. But having that backup camera, I only take one shot to hook up a trailer. I think in the past 6 months, I've only had to take a second shot to hook up to a trailer, maybe just once or twice. I mean, the backup camera is just right above the receiver hitch, so unless you're backing into the sun, it is very convenient and very easy to use. So that was another feature that if I was buying new, I probably wouldn't have put the money into the backup camera. But now that I have it, I don't think I'll buy another vehicle without the backup camera. Another issue that I ran into is they do software updates on the computer system, and it's an automatic thing, I guess. So there was one day last week where it told me to schedule an update time. So I did, 5 minutes from now, and it took me 2 days before I had the speakers working again in the truck. I don't know what the issue was. It just kept going in this cycle of you need to update, and unless you update, it wouldn't let you use the speakers. It just did not work. So that was pretty frustrating. But again, if you're needing a family vehicle, I would highly, highly recommend looking at the new Dodges. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is my honest opinion. We kind of stumbled across this truck, so features it had was what it came with. It does take some time to get used to if you're not used to driving bigger trucks in cities and around town. I've driven medium to big sized trucks for most of my adult life, but this is definitely the biggest truck I've ever owned, and it did take a little bit of getting used to get into the parking lots at shopping centers and just getting around town. It's a substantial truck, so you can definitely feel that it's got some weight behind it. It's definitely got some width to it. So if you live in an urban environment, this is probably not what you're going to want. But if you're in a medium-sized city, rural situation, I would definitely recommend them. So, do we got anything else that we need to talk to them about, Brianna? No? Are you just saying you want down? It's grass. You gonna be okay with grass today? Some days you are, some days you aren't. Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, I guess we'll call that done. And then we'll go find Mommy and Juliet. Because Mommy already took your sister, because she was awake a while ago. Are
you snorting?